Hello, and welcome to day 2 of my little 10 days, 10 videos experiment thing. Today's video, in case you couldn't tell, because you can see the title and I can't, is about how to trust people, or better put, how to know who you can trust. The signs you can look for and the characteristics to watch out for when you're looking for somebody to trust or not trust, and the various people that you can get in contact with when you need to get in contact with people, whether that's in person or over the phone, which a lot of organizations are you have to call them. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the term safe place. I pretty much just say that in my county there are signs and that I wasn't sure. It's a national thing, so I'm correcting that. There are little signs like this. I'm going to put one up. And they say safe place on them, or safe space, or whatever. And you will also find various other signs that won't be posted on big buildings, but these are important to look out for when you're looking for somewhere safe to go or someone safe to talk to, even if this building you might be walking into isn't familiar to you, even if it's not a safe house or homeless shelter or wherever you're trying to go. Seeing a sign like that usually means wherever you're going, no matter where it is going to be safe for you. No matter who you are, no matter what your gender is, or how old you are, or the color of your skin, or the people you're attracted to, anything, your religion, anything. No matter who you are, you can go there and talk to someone, and they'll usually help you, or they'll find a way to help you. I pretty much go on to yap about why it's important to look for those yellow signs when you're looking for buildings, because that means that they are certified safe places, and that means if you've picked a place that is a safe space, it's good. I also mention that you shouldn't go into any random building with a safe place thing and ramble on about exactly why you're there. The safe place thing really just means you can go there and ask for help, and they will know how to help you or be able to guide you somewhere different. And I talk for way too long about this, and there's about to be a jump cut to where I start talking about specific people who you can put your trust in, rather than just strangers in a building with a safe place sign on it. So yay! So looking into people that you do know is really important, and it's important to know what characteristics you should look for in these people that you know, professionals or not, when you're trying to determine whether or not they are trustworthy people to you. For me, somebody who I trusted through my entire ordeal was my 9th grade English teacher, who even now I try to keep in contact with, despite having graduated. And part of the reason why I trusted him so much was because of the way that I watched him interact with my peers, and the way that he worked with me one-on-one when I was struggling in class, because I was never good at English. I had never been taught it in a way that I could understand. Math was always just easier to comprehend. I have a math brain, but he took the extra time to help me with English in the ways that I needed to be helped. And I watched him do the same thing with my classmates and other kids throughout the years. And just overall, he proved himself to be a very trustworthy and authentic sort of man. And a lot of the times he was helping me work through a lot of the things I was thinking and feeling, and he helped me bounce ideas back and forth about things. He encouraged me to write a book. Still haven't done it, but I suppose this is a step in some direction, talking about everything on the internet. But so overall, those kinds of qualities where people go out of their way to help people, to know people, to understand people, and the sort of people who tend to only really offer constructive criticism, just those people who you can talk to without feeling wrong for talking. And not everyone's gonna feel like that, because not everyone is me, and I can't entirely tell you, well, if you can't find somebody who checks all of these boxes, that you can't trust them, because everyone is different, both in themselves, the things that they feel and experience, and the ways that they reflect that into the world, and the ways that they interact with other people who are also different from them and me and the people I know and have worked with. And so I like to hope that you can have a good idea of who to and not to trust, but understanding what you value and what you don't in a person is really important when looking for who to trust, and understanding that while things may be hard to share, questioning whether or not they can be trusted often means they can't. If you know that they have a history of going behind people's backs and backstabbing or gossiping about things that people beg them to keep secret, especially for their own gain, maybe you shouldn't tell them. I sort of end up yapping a lot about untrustworthy people and why they may or may not be good or bad, and that we don't need to get that philosophical. I really just want to get across the point that if you worry you can't trust them, then it's safer not to trust them, and I do mention that in a minute. In a lot of cases, you really can't find those people to trust, and so if you don't think you can trust anyone, maybe don't, which doesn't seem good. That seems like bad advice, but at the end of the day, your safety and anyone who you may or may not be also protecting, like if you have siblings, their safety matters a lot, and so does yours. And if you think maybe this could backfire because of the person that you're telling rather than what you're telling them, maybe you shouldn't tell them. So now that begs the question of, what do you do if you don't already know somebody you can trust? And the answer is you have options, but they may involve talking to somebody you don't really know. And there are various options depending on where you are or where you go. If you're still in school, you can always talk to a teacher with a safe space sticker on the door. I think I would have put some examples earlier, but I might put more here now in my little corner over here, now that I'm talking about it again. Just so that you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. So you can always find a teacher with a safe space sticker on it. A club advisor, a counselor, sometimes a principal or vice principal in the school, or you can always talk to somebody at work if you need to, if you're a minor. I don't really recommend that one, but if you don't have other options, you can always ask advice from a coworker, like a friend. Be like, hey, what should I do? Do you know where I can go? I didn't say this, but I should, which is that you never know who knows who. I live in a smaller town, and so a lot of people know people who actually can help, who deal with people on a daily basis. So really, it can never hurt to ask and say, hey, do you know where I can go, what I can do? There are also people that you see, like medical professionals. If you talk to your pediatrician or your doctor, depending on how old you may or may not be, they can help give you resources, because you can always ask for your parents not to be in the room. In fact, they actually start recommending it once you get a little older, which means if you have an abuser and you're a minor and your parents are abusing or neglecting you or treating you poorly, you can tell your doctor and they can set you up somewhere. or give you resources and ideas of where to go. Obviously, if you already see a therapist, talk to them. They can help put you through. That's how I got where I went, is I was already in therapy, to my father's dismay, and she for months advised me to go to the safe house, and I was stubborn and didn't for a long time. It ended up being better that I went later, because if I had gone much earlier than I did, I wouldn't have had enough time to get to where I am safely. But they know the resources. They have them there, especially if they work with minors or children or people at risk of anything. So medical professionals and counselors and therapists are definitely big ones. You can also call your local crisis hotline. A lot of places have those, and while some of them have been shut down recently due to current administration in the presidential office, a lot of numbers still exist for people who need help. There are also a lot of local agencies and programs. Where I'm at, we have the Child Advocacy Program, CAP, and they take people who need help and find ways to help them. They take on cases, much like CPS, Child Protective Services, who you can also call, and they will help place you somewhere different, though they don't always tend to take the most personal approach. I also know of places around here like our Salvation Army, who works with a lot of domestic violence victims and works to help put you somewhere safer, to help get you to the point where you can go somewhere safer. There's plenty of local places. You can always search, who can I call if this is happening? You can always look it up, because again, it's different for everyone. And there's always the option to call your local police, which does not mean call 911. I have to put that in there. I'm not saying call 911 unless there's an emergency. Obviously, that's what 911 is for, emergencies. But if you really can't think of any other way out of there, you can call the police and ask for help. Your local station, not just wherever, because they deal with a lot. They have a lot of different units that deal with a lot of different things. Mine specifically has a domestic violence unit where you can call or walk in and say, hey, this is happening to me and I want to get out, and they will help you get out. And not everywhere has a lot of programs like that, but if it never hurts to look what are programs available to me here if I am a person who has experienced domestic violence or something. Looking things up is your best friend, and while I can't tell you what you specifically have available, I can tell you, even if you don't think you have options, you definitely do, whether that's in the form of a professional or just somebody you know via acquaintanceship. Sometimes friends will step up to help you. Even if they can't give you a home, they'll offer, do you need rides places? Do you need food? Do you need, a couch to crash on for 2 nights? Do you need somebody to go with you to this place? When you have good friends, you'll see that when they find out that something's been going on, they'll step up as much as they can, especially when you start getting older. Because I know a lot of my friends offered, hey, my parents will take you in if you need somewhere to go. Just let me know and we'll figure something out. Or do you need anything for this or that, or all sorts of things. There's a lot of possibilities. Now I'm going to say this and you might not take me seriously, because honestly, if you're having problems with family, you're not going to want to turn to family. But a lot of the time, abusers, like they tend to do, will keep what's happening in the home strictly in the home. They don't tell anyone. They don't want you to tell anyone because they know it's wrong. And whether knowing it's wrong changes anything or not, they won't let other people know, including family, especially if they don't think that family will support what they're doing. So you may end up finding that some family members, even though you don't know them very well, will be some of the first to swoop in and save you because they only don't know you because your parent or guardian knows that they won't approve and that they will do something about it. And every family is different. I only say this because my family was like this, and some other people's families may be like this. Not everyone is going to have the same family experiences or the same administrative and professional experiences that I have experienced, but it feels necessary to put out all of the options that you should consider, that you can consider, and whether they all end up being applicable to you or not, at least one of them can be, which is police department and crisis hotlines and various numbers that you can find to these local places. Most of them do have a phone because they are run by staff and administration who ensure that the people there are following their rules and doing what they need to do to recover and, in my case, gain independence. Because at the end of the day, they want these people to go back into society and be good functioning members of society, especially when it's the youth that they're dealing with. And everyone's story is different, everyone's family is different, everyone's experiences are different. But worst thing that you can ever do is look up who can I call if, or where can I go when, or keep your eyes out for one of those safe place signs in your school or your workplace or the buildings around town or anything. Do anything. Say something. The worst thing that you can do is say nothing, because at the end of the day, it's not going to get better on its own. Someone has to do something, and it's not going to be your abuser. And having people you can trust is one of the most important things that you can have when going through a situation like this. And being a person who can be trusted is one of the best ways to help somebody through something, because they know that they have you. Even if you don't talk every day, if you don't really see them, just letting them know, hey, if you need anything, I'm here to talk, to walk with you somewhere, to help you go to the store and get food, to give you a couch to crash on for a night or two. Anything is better than nothing, whether that's you asking for help or you offering to help someone else. So, with that said and done, that is day 2. Those are options, and I'm sure there are infinitely more if you look. These are just the ones that I could come up with, that I could remember having not looked into, but met. I have met a lot of the people who work at these organizations, most of, if not all of which, are friendly and welcoming and just really dedicated to making sure everyone stays safe and healthy. So, take a look, make a list, and keep it somewhere safe. And with that being said, I will see you, whomever you may or may not be, viewer, in tomorrow's video.